Good morning, everybody. Phone video Simon here. I didn't bring a real camera, so sorry. It's a cold little 36-degree morning here in Washington State, and I'm heading to the shop, the Grid Engine Automotive actual shop. And I'm sure you guys have been wondering where the hell we are. So this is me kind of telling you. You're going to come with me to the shop today, and I'll show you what it's all about. All right, we're out in the back lot of the shop. This bay over here is the one that I rent, and this truck here is the Grid Engine shop truck. Flatbed, 99, 250 with the 7.3. Sitting here letting it warm up because it's getting cold, and the glow plugs in these have a very important job. I need to run an extension cord so I can leave it plugged in overnight. Okay. See if the old girl wants to start. Is a manual. That's kind of cool. Come on, girl. That's all right. She usually misses for the first 10 minutes of being on. I think some of the injectors might be getting stuck open or stuck closed. Here's the car trailer that I've shown you guys. It's got a winch on it now. Harbor Freight, and I have used it. This thing works great. Got some extra D-rings, tie downs, welded on. Still no fenders. And there was a crack in the frame that I got fixed. And yeah. First on the list today is like a 2012 Ford Fusion with oil that smells like fuel. So we're gonna check for rich codes and maybe a leaking injector. So, did some diagnostics on the Ford Fusion. The fuel trims all look fine. It's running fine, there's no ridge codes. It's acting fine, but the transmission had an overspeed code stored. So I called the customer. It's actually her son's car. And he had actually somehow gotten the car to a speed at which that code would appear. So that means that the engine was worked really, really hard. And these EcoBoost engines, especially the smaller ones, with the direct fuel injection system they have, I guess it's normal for some fuel to get inside the oil pan somehow. And the way that fuel and oil works is like, it kind of saturates it, and it makes it so that all of the oil smells like there's fuel in it, when in all reality, it could be a very small amount of fuel. Also, the customer's been going to Walmart for the cheapest oil change on a turbocharged performance engine. That's just wild to me. I told them, no, stop doing that, it's bad for it. Please let me put full synthetic in there and lower your oil change intervals to 3,000 miles, and you'll be much better off. And they were like, oh, okay. So I'm sharing the love here, trying to keep their bill low. Now I'm headed to a local car dealership that I work alongside to go grab another Ford that's having speed sensor issues, ABS lights, no speedometer, stuff like that. So I'll let you know if I find that one. Ooh, look at all them lights. No speedometer when you're moving either. Ruh-roh. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so here you can see we have two different codes for the front right wheel speed sensor. Then a code for the steering wheel position sensor, and then an engine oil pressure too low, an internal control module torque performance, input / turbine shaft speed sensor A circuit, and electric transmission fluid pump codes. All kinds of codes for the transmission. And the dealership told me that the transmission had been replaced when they got it from the auction. Like that was the first thing they did in order to actually be able to sell the car. And the person they had put in the transmission was basically a Craigslist mechanic. It was not anybody certified or with an actual shop. So these codes are not really something I can go into. The transmission could have been bad. I have no idea, and I don't really want to know. The only request the dealership made to me was to make the speedometer work. And the only thing affecting the speedometer and causing the ABS lights and stuff is that front right wheel speed sensor. So I did some diagnosis. I swapped the sensors from the left and the right side. Nothing changed. I traced the cable, looked for brakes, and pinned it out with the multimeter. No issues. Did the wiggle test, no issues. Then after that, I cleaned the tone ring, and then along with that, I tested the wheel bearing. And there was a ton of play in that thing. I retorqued the axle nut, and it stopped wiggling around as much. And I got about a block with the speedometer actually working, and then it went bad again. So I think that tone ring is screwed up, and I'll say that in this next clip. Okay, so after a lot of diagnosis, that wheel speed sensor ended up to be fine. And the tone ring kind of was the next suspect because everything else checked out fine. And that was it. The wheel hub was totally screwed, wiggling around. So Okay, so here you can see the old wheel hub. That's the one I took off. And then here you can see the new one. I didn't realize it at the time. The tone ring was just missing on the old one. That black piece with all the ridges in it, that's all rust and, stuff that's been magnetized to it. But you can see the ridges. That was just missing. So no wonder the speed sensor couldn't get a signal. My guess is that the hub was wiggling so bad because the axle nut wasn't torqued properly that it either wore away or just fell off. That's just wild, man. Just finishing up the day with an oil change and tire rotation on this Acura 2008 TSX. What up, guys? Just editing this video and realized that I didn't really record any type of ending. So that was like a super brief day in the life. I plan to do more of that in the future with like a GoPro and stuff. I'm still getting comfortable with the guys that I share the shop with, because I knew them kind of before, but I'm really getting to know them now. And I don't just want to like come in with a cameraman and a bunch of cameras if they're not like comfortable with that yet or cool with it at all. In which case I'll find a time when they're not there to record. But we do have some modification content coming down the pipes. I have a couple things, just repairs and mods and stuff I want to do to the F250 in this video. And then the Celica is being driven, and I have some things I want to do to that, including the engine. And then I just want to record some of the stuff I do day to day, like jobs that I come across or weird diagnosis issues, stuff like that. And a lot of those will be probably GoPro videos. So yeah, that is coming, but it's a major shift time in my life. It's a lot of work, and I'm thankful for how much work I have. I'm still booked about 3 weeks out. It's great, but had to kind of put YouTube on the back burner. So I'm going to try and like interact with you guys and keep stuff going, and you can still reach out via Instagram and we can chat that way or whatever. But yeah, it's a cool time and the future looks even cooler. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.